Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the FrankNvet experiment. And today we're looking at a great option if you kind of want to get away from that whole Glock market, and that would be the CZ P07 Duty. Alright, and this is the CZ P07. As you can first see, we'll show you it is clear. Let's go ahead and go over a few specs. So, very first of all, this is a 9mm pistol. It comes with double stack mags, 2 of which 15 rounds, and it also comes with the detachable, interchangeable 2-round extension mags, bringing this up to a 17 or 17 plus 1. So you get 2 of those along with it. This is a polymer frame. You can see that right there. The grip is stippling, or what they consider their version, CZ's version of stippling. It is a double single action. The double action trigger is going to come out to about 6.75 pounds, which I can say is about right. Maybe it's a little bit more. I don't have a pull gauge on me here, but it's pretty close. It has a single action trigger of about 3.28 pounds. Just smooth, crisp. Doesn't have a. It has quite a bit of take up, but doesn't have a lot of draw. I can show you that real fast here. See, right there's where you hit. Just nothing. Try it again. Wall, a little bit of sponginess, and it breaks. Then you got the reset right there. Try it again. Not bad at all. The sights on this are a 3-dot sight. Let's see if I can get that lined up for you guys, so you guys can check that out. They're not night sights, but they are glow sights, so they do have to be charged by day or whatever. But honestly, I can show you this in a little bit. Just like right here, as you can see, they do glow. They're not great. The barrel is a cold hammer forged 3.75 inch barrel. Total weight of 27.7 inches unloaded. Overall length of 7.2 inches long. And a height of 5.3 inches. Now, it's not even that wide. It looks pretty wide even in this video. It's not that bad. I don't have that huge of hands, and this thing fits pretty comfortably because it's only about 1.46 inches wide, and that's mostly at the top. Down here on the frame, you do have some end grooves right there that hold the hand pretty comfortably, and an interchangeable ambidextrous magazine. You do have to switch that over. One thing is I don't believe that the catch is ambidextrous, or your slide catch is ambidextrous, but I could be wrong on that. I'll have to double check on that for you guys. It does have, for safeties, is pretty cool. It does have a decocker. If you see right there, this big old thing right there, it will decock it for you. It's not that bad, it doesn't just slam shut, so it's pretty nice. As well, inside the kit, it does come with the parts necessary if you want to change it into a traditional manual safety, and you can flick it up. So, depends on you and who you are, if you want a decocker or not, but I like the fact that it does come with both those parts. As well, inside of it, it does have a safety stop hammer, and it also has a firing pin safety block. So that's pretty cool as well. This thing, I mean, honestly, it shoots pretty good. I enjoy it. The trigger is amazing. It has this, if you guys can see right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but instead of sitting on the outside like a Glock or an XD or most traditional pistols, where the frame rails will actually sit and around the outside of the frame, and you have rails inside, the frame sits on the top of those rails. The rails are actually on the slide itself, and what that does is give it a little bit lower bore over axis, so that way you're shooting a little bit closer. It does have a little bit more straight up and down or vertical grip, so it's not going to be the best thing for guys that like Glocks necessarily in that grip angle. It's a little bit less extreme, but the fact that it does have that closer bore over axis like a Glock traditionally does is really nice. So you're kind of getting a middle of two worlds on that one. And honestly, for this thing, it's actually coming in at an MSRP about $525, which I think is really funny because and go down to a retail shop, you're going to pick it up for about $500. So the MSRP really isn't that much more, and that's really weird for the firearms industry that traditionally likes to make their claims on their MSRP to be a couple hundred more at least. So that's pretty cool. I was actually pretty excited about that when I saw that. The competing guns that this thing is really for is you're looking at like the Glock 19 or like an XDM or XD Mod 2 in 9mm and a little bit shorter barrels, like Glock 19. That's what it's really competing with. And so instead of getting that striker fire system, if that's not what you want, but you still want a polymer gun, that's really what this is going for. Is you want to have that double single action, that super light trigger, but you're also not afraid of you getting snagged on something and accidentally firing off because it has 3.5 pound trigger on it. It's really cool because you can keep it in the decock position and the double action position, and you're probably not going to snag it on anything and let it go off. I'm really liking it for that. This thing does come with all the normal accoutrements, a couple different back straps, small, medium, large. It does come with a cleaning rod, a clearing rod, some of the minor tools. Here's the parts for that safety, if you want to use the manual safety, an Allen wrench, as well as the lock and all the other normal stuff that comes in any gun box. Honestly guys, for likes, this thing has more likes than I could probably, or I care to admit. The biggest ones is it is double single action while still being a polymer frame. You don't see a lot of that out there. There's a few, but you don't see that many. So it really takes up that niche market. As well, the trigger out of the box, having a 3.75 trigger is awesome, and it doesn't matter if it's in double action or single action. Both of them, it's a pretty smooth trigger pull, not a lot of grit, not a lot of take up, and it really hits that wall at the end and it just slides right through. So I'm liking it. As far as the stock trigger goes, especially for guys like me who are used to firing more striker fires as of late, it kind of gets back to the roots, back to 1911s, back to the 92 FSs, in that double single action, which you don't see a lot of these days. I really do like the weight. It's not heavy. It's not like you're carrying a 1911 or anything like that, because it is using a polymer frame. So it's kind of bringing the best of both worlds, I should say. You're getting a lot of the old world feel with the double single action, but you're getting new world polymer frame and weight. It has a nice grip, stippling or without stippling, it doesn't matter. I do like the fact that it's smooth grip. So right here, I'm not a big fan of how Glock has your finger grooves, as well it does have a little bit of an undercut right there as well. So I don't have to go out and modify this gun any, and the few modifications that I probably want to do, most of them are already in there. As far as if I wanted to make this have a manual safety, or if I wanted to switch things over for left or right-handed. I mean, I'm right-handed, so it doesn't matter. But you know, if that's what I wanted to do, it's already there. The capacity is nice. Like I said, this does compete with the Glock 19, so it does come with a 15-round magazine, or two 15-round magazines. But I do like the fact that it comes stock with two extra 2+ round base plates. So you can bring it up to 17.5 if you want. Maybe you want to keep one at flush at the 15, and you want to bring one to the 17, or you want both to be 17. That's awesome. It just already comes with it. The slide style, like I said, having that weird undercut, it doesn't perform better or worse as far as I can see because of that. It is pretty smooth, I'll give it that, but I don't see it being better or worse. I do like the fact that it's different. Not a lot of guns use that slide style, and so for me, I just think it's cool. You know, it's something that's different, but it's just as good in that respect. But they're not doing what every other gun manufacturer does. So they're trying something new, and I can always appreciate people trying to innovate, even if they don't make it better, as long as it's just as good. Something a little bit different is always nice. You know, you can have steak, but you know, once in a while you might want to go have, you know, escargot. Just kidding. Nobody likes French food. But I do like the bore over axis as well. It keeps that bore really low to the top of your hand. It keeps you firing straight back instead of a lot of muzzle flip. It gets you to get on target faster, and it's less felt recoil in my opinion. The crazy thing about these magazines, I forgot to say, is that these are interchangeable with the CZ P10C, and I think there's another model as well. So they're all interchangeable with those ones at least. So it's not completely proprietary to this specific firearm only. You could actually get a couple variants of it, and the magazines are gonna work. So that's really cool. Now I gotta get into some of the things I don't like about it. The problem that you have with having those rails on the inside like that is you're gonna end up having a lower slide itself. The slide is actually shorter. If you can see, my thumb actually takes up the entire slide. So trying to get a good grip on top real fast, instead of being able to grab the entire top like I normally would, I have to kind of try and pinch a little bit higher. And it's not bad, it's just different. And it's something I'm not used to. So I will say that's definitely a demerit. It's different, and I like that, but for the same reasons, I also don't like that. It's just because it's so different. As well, it does have these front slide serrations, and it has it beveled almost like the XDM does, but at a weirder, more rounded angle. And so if you're trying to do like a press check or anything like that, it's really weird to try and do. So, not that it's a bad thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just really different. And so I guess, yes, it is a bad thing, it's a dislike. I personally don't like that as much. As well, this thing also doesn't have a great selection on magazines like you're gonna find with like a Glock 17, Glock 19. You pretty much only get in the CZs. I think there's a couple other brands that make some stuff, but due to the fact that it doesn't have a great selection, it makes it a little bit harder to find. A lot of stores aren't gonna stock them necessarily, unless it's a really big gun store. And as well, it's going to make it more expensive. Some of the best prices I found were anywhere from $36 on CZ's website to go into other places like Cheaper Than Dirt and finding them for $50. So it's kind of ridiculous, and especially since these are, yeah, it's an aluminum magazine, and it does have the red followers like the mag pulls and stuff like that, easier to see when it's out. I guess I just look in the bore and I can see it's out. Not that hard. Anyways, but yeah, you're gonna have limitations, and so that's gonna drive the price up. So as the Glock 19, you're looking at what, $25 for a standard 15 round Glock brand Glock 19 magazine. You're looking at closer to $36 to $50 for a standard P07 magazine. So it's gonna be harder to find, and it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. And this does come around the same price as a Glock 19. You're looking at about $500 for either one of them at the store. So, what do I think of it? I like it. It's different. I've put about 500 rounds, 600 rounds through it. This is not a long term. This is more of an initial thoughts, but I do like it. It's something that's different. It seems reliable to me, has a great trigger. Yeah, parts availability sucks and you gotta spend a little money, but there's a lot of guns that use their own magazines, and there's a lot of guns that are very expensive for magazines. And this isn't the most expensive for those. Most of my complaints, if you noticed, have nothing to do necessarily with the gun itself, more so with just it's different. And I like the fact that it's different, but it being different is also a drawback because it means that I gotta get used to it more in some certain ways. But I don't think it's gonna be hard. A lot of it's pretty intuitive. The shooting, the accuracy, you know, I was able to shoot 50 yards with this pistol and be hitting, you know, obviously vitals, man-sized gong. Yeah, you know, the first day out, it wasn't a huge changeover from anything. So, great recoil, great weight. It you know, it feels good. The slide is smooth, the trigger is smooth. And in this day and age, especially with polymer framed pistols of any sort, yes, a lot of them are striker fire, and that's always going to be an issue. But with this one, you're getting a polymer frame that's getting a little bit back to the basics. So in a lot of ways, I like that. Overall, guys, I will say that I love this pistol. I really do love it. And I can't say that about a lot of pistols. I'm not a huge fan of the Glocks. I understand how they work, and to tell you the truth, I'm probably going to pick another one up here soon. But that's it for a different video. So if you guys want to see that, I'm going to go ahead and do that in the next couple months or so. So stay tuned for that. But as far as the CZ P07 is concerned, I give this my stamp of approval. This is a great gun, great option, especially for you guys that are looking for a duty pistol. It is a compact duty pistol style, so this isn't a normal carry gun. I mean, you could, if you were a bigger guy, carry this pistol, if that's what you so chose to do. I know a lot of guys carry the Glock 19, and this is essentially a really big competitor for that. And if you want something different than the Glock and you don't want to be a Glock fanboy, not a bad way to go, guys. So I'd definitely go ahead and give this a try if you haven't already. If you got a friend that has one, go ahead and shoot it. If you know a range that has them, go ahead and see if you can rent one and go take it out and fire it. If not, go down to your local gun store and just put it in your hand. Some guys say it feels pretty cheap, but I'm telling you, once you actually get out and fire it, it does not feel cheap. It is a good quality pistol for a decent price, and it should be in most people's budget. Alright guys, in the comments below, let us know what you guys use as your carry pistol, and maybe you guys just really don't like Glocks as much as everybody else. Maybe this is a good option for you. Go ahead and put your comments, likes, and also your shares, as well as don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out the more you guys get involved. And hey, you know, if you subscribe and you don't like the video, guess what? You don't have to watch it. It just sits there annoying you. We don't have to worry about it. As always, I'm your host, FrankNvet. Stay smart, stay safe, stay alive.